Hi everyone, Eugene Sachs here with another review from GameCritics.com. B Corp came with promises of making the city a better place. Instead, they installed mind-controlling screens that drained everyone of their free will, creativity, and color. Enter Vala, a leader in an underground resistance known as Rakugaki. Armed with paint cans and her trusty robot friend Io, they're going to fight for their freedom and take the city back. RKGK, pronounced Rakugaki, is a 3D platformer where players will control Vala as she battles robots and destroys the mind control technology of B Corp using spray paint. She can run, jump, dash, hover, surf on paint, and use a grapple to traverse levels and fight enemies, all while covering the town in neon colors and stylized graffiti while listening to a fantastic techno soundtrack. In each level, players can tag mind control screens and pick up coins and ghost tokens that can be used to unlock additional cosmetics for Vala's outfits or new graffiti art. Tagging a certain number of items will unlock the boss of each area, who must then be defeated for Vala to move on. Vala can also complete additional challenges in each level, which include things like beating the level quickly, defeating a certain number of enemies, finding hidden graffiti tags, or completing the level without dying. Checking all of these off the list will require a lot of exploration, as Rakugaki has plenty of hidden secrets and platforming challenges. While this is a formula for success in general, I did find that Rakugaki's movement mechanics aren't tuned tightly enough to demand the precision and performance that it does. Everything feels just a bit too floaty and vague. Controlling Vala feels loose and slippery in a way that means moving fast doesn't feel satisfying. What really got me though was how the camera perspective required to see where Vala is in relation to enemies and hazards was a bit fuzzy. It definitely made surviving combat and succeeding in some of the platforming sessions tougher than it needed to be. I also had some issues with hitboxes. For example, I died many times from hits that looked like they missed me. Vala's body was often visibly clear of shots being fired at her, but I ended up taking damage because of some unseen hit clipping her foot. Similarly, there are some areas where there are overlapping laser walls where everything is rendered in the same shade of red, which makes it quite tough to tell where the safe path is. Another problem with combat is that the period of invincibility between getting hit and when the player is vulnerable again is too short, and boss fights are the worst example of this. Many of the boss arenas have bottomless pits between platforms, and taking a hit means that Vala can't recover in time to save herself from getting knocked off a ledge. And sometimes when she can recover, the enemies just juggle her. In one instance, I was able to get back onto a ledge, only to have the enemy knock me off again as soon as I got back on, repeating an infinite loop until I died. Despite those issues, I still enjoyed Rakugaki. The boss fights are a sore spot that killed my momentum and pushed me toward rage quitting, but I still had a blast pushing the oppressive corporate world back with vibrant colors and great music, and plastering the world with gorgeous graffiti pieces was always a good time. With a campaign that takes around 5 to 6 hours to complete, it's an enjoyably stylish way to spend a weekend. For me, Rakugaki gets an 8 out of 10.